With that, then the next item would be to review the 2014-2015 budget calendar.
Again, just for your information mainly, if you want to take a look at this, this is the 2014-15 budget calendar. When we look at that calendar, basically, I had some dates in December, but December was almost over and I didn't have enough room to keep it to one page, so I got rid of the December dates considering this was really our last meeting, hopefully for the year, unless something else comes up. And you can see we'll be looking at hopefully a special finance committee on the 13th. Talk a little bit more about a referendum, and then you'll see the different priority dates here. And really when you get into the very end of it, you'll see the culmination of the budget, which is when we set the levy at the end of October at some point in time. You know, some important things to keep about the budget calendar. It wasn't too many years ago where the board maybe saw this budget calendar somewhere in March. That got moved back to January, and then it got moved back to December that we're seeing it right now. And the other thing is when we looked at budgets, we really didn't talk about budgets until June. We didn't really get a good look at what our budget was going to be for 2014-15. And what you will see tonight, although it's not where it'll be in June, it's pretty darn close to where it's going to be in June when you look at it in totality. Now things may shift and change a little bit within that budget, but certainly as we get into more challenging economic times, I think it's very important for us to move this process ahead farther so that you guys can make some decisions for the up-and-coming school year in a timely manner, because we don't want to compress that so tight that you're making decisions in a month or two. And I think we've been looking at numbers probably since January of last year for 14-15 and beyond, and when we really look at these, they've changed some, but they haven't changed significantly, where I would look at them and say, boy, we really missed the boat on anything. So I think you're going to continue to see more and more of this. The real challenge as you start setting a budget calendar isn't for really what you see here, it's for what you're doing in 15-16 and 16-17, because as we talk about 14-15, we're also planning for 15-16, 16-17, and even beyond, and it's looking at the different assumptions. Because our budget year starts on July 1st for 14-15, you know, and I've said it over and over again, and it doesn't seem like it was just in October, which it was, that we talked about these things. We finally get all the information to actually set a budget and to determine our budget, set a levy at the end of October, and really 1/4 of the year is already over. So you can see how important it is to try to make good assumptions as we're going, and you know, you always keep your fingers crossed when you're using assumptions that something doesn't change drastically. And I'm feeling pretty good about 14-15 on some of our assumptions. You start moving out and it gets a little bit more difficult. So although this is primarily 14-15 dates, certainly we're looking much further ahead than this calendar. Questions or concerns?
No, I don't have any questions. You know, when I first saw this, I don't know that I paid close attention, and it's become much more meaningful. I see the school year much more by this calendar anymore than sort of by the actual school calendar, just because of the significance of all of these from a board perspective. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but
I agree, and I think it's been really good of Mr. Gorder to really bring this to the forefront, because we didn't really pay that close attention to this a few years back, but as things have progressed, it's really important for us to be aware of all these deadlines and dates and high points.
And I know you've made the point several times, we're almost always looking at 3 budget years at once. You're always sort of closing previous year, you're dealing with the existing year, and then you're always almost every meeting, we're sort of talking about the next year. So you've got 3 different budget years you're paying attention to at once, and a lot of important dates and decisions. So thanks for providing this. Anything else?